Greetings, friends. Come, stay a while, and I will spin you a yarn of a man and his friends who roleplay for fun. Stay and listen to another tale. Welcome to another tale of Gilt and Desertion. I'm your host and game master, David, and for those of you who don't know the game, Dungeons & Dragons, essentially it's a role-playing game where we tell a story and roll dice, and based on those die rolls, I determine the direction that the story moves in. Now, I guess since this is our first outing, we should probably introduce ourselves. I just did, so Caleb, why don't you start?
Okay. My name is Caleb. I would like to be called Senor Poopy Pants.
God.
Wait, no, sorry, can you repeat that?
My name is Caleb. You can call me Caleb. Or my character name. Should I introduce my character name, or are we going to meet in-game?
You can do your character name.
Okay, my character's name is Bryce.
Fucking Christ.
You can call him Bryce for short, by the way.
Oh, Bryce. Okay, instead of saying Bryce.
But I like Bryce.
Can I say Bryce squared?
No. He doesn't know math.
And can you summarize his background for us?
Oh, boy. Okay. So Bryce, as I affectionately call him, his name is Bryce, and his first memories are being pulled aboard the pirate ship, the Salty Saber. The pirate crew found Bryce floating amidst the wreckage of a destroyed vessel. He was barely 15 years of age at the time, but the crew took in the elf and trained him in the seafaring ways. Lacking any memory of his life before being found, the crew named him Bryce as a joke because it's the only elven any of the human crew knew, and it was the word for confusion. Since then, Bryce has spent 15 years with the crew before disembarking to explore the great places of the world and seek out any semblance of where he came from and others like him.
Very nice. And next is...
Okay. Well, my name is Sarah. I am playing a half-elf druid by the name...
I didn't ask for a description yet, just a name.
Well,
Spoilers,
listen,
Sarah.
You said to introduce my character, so...
Fair enough, I'm wrong.
Half-elf druid by the name of Freaky. Not to be confused with Freaky. Her name is Freaky.
Okay, now we can get into the backstory.
How much should I say?
However much you think gives people the basic rundown of your character.
Okay. Freaky was found on the western shore of... Yeah, I gotta say this word, Ron. Orlunar.
Orlunar.
What was that?
Orlunar.
Exactly. As an infant, and she was basically like raised by the wildlife there until a couple years, and she's lived in caves and small swamps, and she was found with a small trinket that was tied to her hand when she came ashore, and basically lived her life out as like a feral child swamp witch. And a group of researchers found her near the den and kind of helped her become a little bit more or less savage, or I don't know, civilized, and then left her behind to live out her life.
All right, that leaves us with...
Oh, me! Hello, my name is Thomas Campbell, and I play Ku Kanaloa. Yeah!
Jesus Christ.
I really hope he's a bard.
He's might be.
You're a barbarian.
Oh, you missed your calling, Tom.
I know.
Why did you be a bard?
I'm bad at this
It would have
game.
been perfect.
I know. But oh well.
So, Tom, can you give us an overview of Ku?
Alright, I'm gonna keep it super brief. Okay, so, my name's Ku, and, I was born out of a volcano. I was encased in the hardened magma, and, that was because my dad, who visited the place, went to a volcano, and then he saw a mystical volcano lady walk out of it, and then they did the no pants dance, and then they had she went back to the volcano and then birthed me because I'm a lava genasi. So anyway, my father brought me back to Astron, and he's super duper rich, and we live in this big rich house, and everyone thinks I'm like a prophet or something in Astron because I think like genasi are like super magical, but I hate it. I say, I just want to get out of this town, and I'm so sick of the scum. I might be rich, but I'm no prick. I know what I should. So I should. I don't know if I should reveal this information, but
Keep it brief. Keep it vague.
oh, it's what hasn't been that brief, has it? Okay. Well, but the action part is I secretly like to go around town and beat people up like Batman or the Punisher or something. I wear a mask and I have a big old maul, and I'm gonna get you.
Kill them all.
Yep. And that's me.
Thank God.
Alrighty. So, how about we start the story off with a new arrival? Bryce. Last night you arrived in New Galciodon, a gigantic city that serves as the capital of Estron, a megacracy run by several wizarding colleges. You came here to meet with and assist a former crewmate of yours, the half-orc Dolg. He's on a mission to retrieve something from the library of the College of Manipulation, and he has asked for your help in retrieving it. Now, when you were found by the crew of the Salty Saber, they also drudged up some weird objects with you, one of which was a scroll with nothing on it save for a mysterious symbol in the lower right corner. Dolg has extended the idea that the library he's headed to likely holds information on this scroll you want to decipher, and that by helping him, you will have the opportunity to research that topic.
Sounds like a fair deal.
You met Dolg on the docks of the city the night before the festival. He already had a room arranged for you at the local inn.
Oh, very forward of him.
Your own room.
Oh, okay. Well, it's life on the sea is lonely.
So, Bryce, you wake up at the break of dawn to beams of light filtering through the dirty windows of your room. It's Liad's Day, the 21st of Festith, and the first day of the Festival of Innovation.
That's the sun's up. Sun's up, guns up.
Acting.
I went to college for acting. Does it show?
Bryce, what would you like to do first?
Well, if I'm gonna put on my clothes, where I got my guns out, because of course Bryce wears like a peasant shirt, so there's no sleeves, just his skinny pale arms.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's got no muscle on him. And I guess I'll throw on my gear, get my bow all strung and ready, hanging on my back, and I'll start heading out towards the library where I guess I'm going to meet him.
So you take a few minutes and you throw on your clothes, you strap your leather armor on, you loop your silver grappling hook to your belt, and you ready your pack before opening the door to your room. As soon as you do, across the hallway from you, another door creaks open, and Dolg is standing there, teetering slightly with his eyes squinted shut.
Hi, Dolg.
Dolg lets out a and rubbing his eyes asks you, "What time is it?"
Morning?
He groans again and mumbles to himself as he turns to collect his things.
Are you okay?
Fine. Just had a little too much fun last night. Now it's back to haunt me.
Well, we are in an inn, tavern, pub thing.
You ready to go?
Yeah, you lead the way. I have no idea where we're going.
Dulg stands for a moment, steadying himself, and then with great effort, he forces himself out the door and down the stairs to the right.
Oh, okay. Is he headed like towards the entrance, or is he disoriented enough that he's like heading towards a bathroom or something?
Well, once he reaches the ground floor, he heads straight to the bar, grabs the first mug he can get his hands on, and douses his head with it. Once he has finished shaking most of the liquid from his shaggy mane of a head, he turns to you, now much more awake, and says,
Alrighty. Good to go.
Before walking past you and heading out the front door of the tavern.
I will follow suit.
Heading outside of the tavern, you are immediately taken aback by a plethora of activity on the streets. Just to drop some thesaurus words on you.
Like, oh my god. Just a little of that college knowledge. I got a degree.
Now, there were still carts and people out when you arrived here last night. New Galciadon is one of the largest cities in the world, certainly the largest you've ever been in, so you expected it would be active even at dusk. But the daylight seems to have brought an endless stream of people, animals, and carts to the streets of Estron. To your right, through the crowds, streamers, flags, and shops, you can see the tall, pale towers of the College of Estron, where you assume this long traffic jam is slowly inching towards. Dulg pauses for only a moment before diving into the crowd and forging his way towards the college.
All right, I'm just following him. He knows the way. Can I roll or like see if there's anybody following us? Any suspicious onlookers?
Sure. Make me a perception roll.
18 plus... So that's 23.
Okay. From the tavern, it's about half a mile to reach the outside of the college grounds. And since you assume such a big city would naturally carry a high crime rate with it, you make sure to keep your eyes and ears open for any suspicious ne'er-do-wells. It's only near the end of your walk, however, when you notice something out of place. A group of 4 guardsmen on the street near one of their posts are clustered tightly near one another. You can't hear what they're talking about, but you can see very clearly that at least one of the guards is incensed about something.
There's a fair number of guards here in this city, Dulg.
Dulg responds,
I like keeping secrets in this town. Speaking of, when we reach the gates, I need you to stay calm, alright? Alright?
Okay.
Keep it cool. I'll do the talking.
Sure. Bryce, like, sort of throws one shoulder down a little bit and one back in his, like, most cool look he can salvage. Just like, because he has no idea what cool is. So he's just like, and he's, like, nodding his head a little, just constantly. Yeah. Alright.
Dulg gives you a look before he steps into a line headed through one of the college gates. After a very long and extremely boring wait, you are finally beckoned forward by 2 guardsmen. These guards are clad in shiny, highly reflective metal armor. They each hold a shield in their left hand and a sheathed sword on their side. One guard steps towards you and asks what your business is. Without missing a beat, Dulg tells him,
custodial duty and pest control.
While presenting a creased piece of paper with a wax seal on it. The guardsman breaks the seal, looks the paper over, glances at Dulg, and then stares at you for a while, Bryce.
I smile incredibly, like just a goofy smile.
Finally, he folds the paper rather curtly, hands it back to Dulg, and says, Well, this all seems to check out. Enjoy the festival. Dulg nods and walks through the gate.
I follow through and like finger gun the guards, just like, yeah.
The guards look at you and then look at each other and then just shrug and turn back to their work. Passing through the gates, you see the college in full for the first time.
Holy crap!
Holy fuck! I'm sure this isn't translating at all in this podcast, but it looks really cool.
You all can't see it, but we can.
We can.
Well, I'll try to explain how it looks as best I can. Stretching out before you is a flattened stone pathway, cutting a white swath through lush patches of grass and topiary. As you look inward, you can see the circular college grounds are divided into 3 layered rings. Each ring is divided by a large moat and a series of bridges. On the middle ring, you can see several towers clustered at different points around the circle, while on the center ring, you can see the central tower, stretching far higher than the rest. At its base, you can see a mass of people congregating, while at its peak, you can make out some sort of belfry and, at the very top, a fire signal. After taking in the sight, Dulg turns to you and says,
You see that tower? Middle ring. Indigo flags. We'll meet there at an hour to noon.
and with that, Dulg mills off into the crowd.
Okay. Where's the library?
Dulg doesn't seem to hear you, and you quickly lose sight of him in the crowd.
Oh. What a great crewmate. All right. Well, I guess for lack of any other information, I'm gonna start meandering my way up there.
So Bryce sets off towards the Indigo Towers. As you walk, you feel much like a fish out of water. There are so many things that you've never seen nor heard of before, you'd scarcely have any time to take in one sight before another is just thrust in your face. For example, you pass a small clearing with tables and benches where folks are staging a drinking competition of what looks to you like glasses of molten gold. You pass a stall where an orc is splitting open these large, bulbous, spiny fruit and juicing them into weird-looking glasses. You also pass a stage connected to a large tent where a crowd is watching a cow-faced man break blocks of obsidian with various parts of his body. Soon after you reach the middle ring of the grounds, you pass by a large stack of crates being unloaded by some men. As you walk by, one of the men falls backwards and topples the entire stack towards you. Could you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Plus my dex saving throw, which is actually bad. So it's a 9.
Wow.
The crates are filled with very large eggs. You know this because many of the crates burst open and send bits of shell and goop spraying all over you.
Ew.
What?
Ew.
As soon as he
Ew.
helps his employee to the feet, the owner of the stall rushes over and quickly tries to wipe you off.
Hey, get your hands off me. I check all of my goods right now. I don't want him, steal my gold purse.
You pat yourself and everything seems to be in place. The owner helps you to your feet, apologizing profusely, and offers you a crate of these grapefruit-sized eggs as an apology.
I got my free sample, thanks very much. And I just turn and I walk away. Is there give me a rag? You got a rag?
He swiftly pulls a rag off his belt and hands it to you.
I take the rag and I just start wiping off my face and I just walk away. I don't like this. Ugh, gross. I'm covered in eggs.
As you march away, you notice a different stall, whose owner looks at you from behind his counter and says,
It's not raining eggs now, is it?
I just kind of glare at him and just keep walking. He's a weirdo.
He leans a little further out of his stall to get your attention, saying,
Hey, you want to see something really neat?
No.
No.
No, I don't.
He says to you,
Got some things here bet you never seen before in your life.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. What are these strange people yelling at me in cities? Do you have a rag, sir?
He gives you a confused look.
You got a rag, don't you?
It's covered in egg now, and I throw it on the ground. Or I throw it on his desk or whatever, where all the trinkets are. Meh.
The man pulls back.
Hey, buddy, watch the merchandise.
Oh, sorry. And I pick up the rag and pocket a couple, whatever's underneath the rag.
Oh, you little bitch.
Okay. Would you like to make me a sleight of hand check?
Absolutely, I do. Let's see how this goes. Oh, So sleight of hand. So that'd be a 24.
Nice.
I'm like, oh, sorry, and I just kind of push it towards me and then put it in my pocket.
As you do so, he's scowling at you, and he says,
Come on, I don't need fools like you throwing eggy rags on my stuff.
My bad. I'll just be on my way.
My
then.
B.
And once I'm out of sight, I'll pull it out and see what I got.
You walk a fair distance away from the stall, and once you are assuredly out of his sight, you examine what you have under the rag. It appears to be a piece of carved wood, painted green and red. It's shaped like a teardrop, with one pointed end and a wooden dowel coming out of the rounded end. The dowel has a piece of string wrapped around it.
I don't know if it would be like an investigation check to try and figure out what it is, or...
Yes, it would be.
This is gonna be like a 12.
You turn the object over in your hands for a few moments, and then, holding onto the string, you drop the object. It spins and unwinds until the string runs out and it just falls onto the ground.
Oh, okay. I'll pick it back up. It's like an ancient yo-yo. I'm just gonna try and wrap it back up and then just put it back in my pocket. Be like, I'll figure this out later. To the library.
So Bryce shrugs his shoulders and carries on to the Indigo Towers. Moving out away from the crowd proves much faster than moving in, and you reach the College of Manipulation's garden in no time at all. You can see a few people here milling about, though most are students readying the area with decorations and floating candle ornaments. After a short bit of searching, you find Dolg sitting at the base of a statue. He seems to be watching the library tower, and he gives you a short wave when you approach.
Hey, dude, where did you go?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, where did you go?
I took the long way. Made sure we weren't being followed together.
Oh, you just left me to just wander the streets, man.
Well, you found your way, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but...
Dolg sits up and pats the stone base of the statue next to him and says,
Have a seat. I'm going to learn you something.
Are we going to go into the library?
Don't be so impatient. Sit down.
Why am I sitting down? I don't know. We just walked all the way here by myself.
Dolg grabs your arm and tries to move you to sit next to him.
I'm going to pull away.
Dolg rolls his eyes. He stands up and spins you around by the shoulders to face the tower.
All right. What are we looking at?
Okay, I'm looking at a tower.
Yeah, but what do you see?
I see a tower.
Dolg lets out a long...
There's a street clown.
No. What do you see? You're looking, but you're not seeing. What do you see about the tower?
Caleb, would you like to make me a...
perception check?
Yeah.
What do your elven eyes see?
What do my elven eyes see? With a 7, my perception, that'd be a 12. So
See shit.
hey, look, there's a tower.
Okay, you also notice that there are covered walkways at 3 different points going up the tower, essentially dividing it into levels. Each of these walkways connect to either another tower or to the one main walkway that heads off to the big central tower.
Do I tell him what I see? The 3 walkways?
Yeah, basically he's looking to see what you can figure out on your own. So you tell him what you managed to notice, and he nods his head and says,
This level, the ground level, is just a basic library. The next level up is the students' hall for studying, but there shouldn't be anyone in there while the festival is on. What we're after is on the 2nd and 3rd levels. That's where they keep their more illicit things.
Ooh, the porn section.
Dolg gives you a slight slap upside of the head.
I will fucking kick you in the nuts.
Boy, not now. Listen, when we get up there, we'll have roughly an hour to get what we need and get out. You can take all the time doing whatever you'd like, but we need to get going out of there when the clock chimes 12.
Why do I only have an hour?
Because after an hour, they'll know something's up and they may trigger an alarm.
So, the stuff about my scroll is on the 3rd floor and the illicit stuff?
If there's anything written about it on this plane, I'd wager it's up there.
I feel like checking the place that's not illegal to be first.
Suit yourself.
And Dole begins walking towards the library as the bells in the central tower chime 11.
I'll just head into the first floor of the library.
As you both approach the entrance, the 2 guards stationed there are watching you, but they let you continue on through the wooden doors behind them. Once inside, on your left there is a small alcove with a staircase going downwards. In front of you is a cylindrical room with an incredibly high ceiling. Lining every wall are curved bookshelves, stretching up to touch that same distant ceiling. And at several points you can see ladders and short wooden walkways spanning across the many shelves, presumably to allow you easier access to the books. On the other side of the room is an alcove leading to another set of stairs, while in the center of the room are several normal-sized bookshelves arranged in a circle, with a large, robed statue at the very center of the room. Atop the statue, where the head should be, is a large stone orb with a stylized eye engraved on it. The stone eye seems to slowly rotate atop the statue as you watch.
Is there like a reference desk or like a librarian?
There is, in fact, a reference desk to the left of the entrance. You have to assume there is someone behind it, though, as all you can see right now are 2 hands peeking out from behind a massive book that's been propped up on the desk. As soon as Dolg steps inside the doorway and has closed the door behind him, he ducks off into the stair alcove, and peering out from the shadows, he looks back at you and gestures towards the desk.
What kind of gesture?
Just a head tilt in the direction of the desk.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll approach the man at the desk. Excuse, what kind of man is he? Is he like a human or
You can't tell as the person still has this enormous book propped up in front of their face.
Is there a bell or like any sort of like a service bell, where you're like ding to get their attention?
There is a small spiral set of chimes on the desk with a tiny mallet next to it.
Oh, okay. Before I do that, before I like touch the mallet, I'll just be like, excuse me?
You get nothing from behind the book.
Pick up the mallet and ding the little triangle thing.
As you tap the mallet against the chime, it sounds and bangs into the second chime, setting off a domino effect where each charm strikes the next and each is louder than the last. The man at the desk bolts up, drool on his cheek, and scrambles over his book to stop the noise of the chimes. Once he does, he rubs his eyes and says,
Hello, yes, what do you want?
Hi there. Hi. The name's Bryce. What's your name?
I'm sorry, your name was what?
My name is Bryce. What's yours?
Oh, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. I was wondering, I'm doing a little research. I got this fancy scroll here. I'm going to pull out my scroll.
Bryce unfurls the scroll across Daniel's desk. It's roughly 1 meter in length, made of heavy paper, and the only thing written on it seems to be a small circle at the lower right, filled with an intricate pattern of interconnecting dots and lines.
I'm looking for anything on that like might share symbols with this.
He studies the markings at the edge of the paper, nodding his head thoughtfully for a moment, before he takes off his glasses and says,
I honestly have no idea what that is.
Okay. Do you have like a candle?
Yes.
He reaches for a candle and begins lighting it.
Do you not have enough light?
No, I just want to show you something. So I'll like take the candle from him and like put it on the desk and then hold the scroll where I saw where you hold it up to the flame so that he can see the lettering that appears from that as well.
Right. As you hold the scroll up next to the candle flame, several more dots appear on the paper. Some of them have small elven lettering written next to them. Daniel's eyebrows raise and he looks over the new markings that stretch out from the original. Finally, he says,
Wow, that's very interesting, but I still don't know what to make of it. Perhaps it's some sort of... No, well, you'd probably want to see one of the head wizards about this. I'm afraid I'm not going to be of much help to you.
Oh, where can I find a head wizard?
Well, most of them are probably over at the central tower by now, gathering for the opening ceremonies. You're actually the first person I've seen today, but...
As he's talking, you hear Dolg from behind you say,
Good to know.
right before he emerges from where he was hiding and moves behind the desk to stand next to Daniel. Daniel turns to him, still in his seat, and only manages to get out, "Oh, hello?" before Dolg has him on the floor behind the desk.
Whoa. Hey, Dolg, what are you doing?
This'll just take a second.
Dolg stuffs a piece of cloth in Daniel's mouth and then easily begins tying up his hands and feet.
Dolg, what are you doing?
Once he finishes tying Daniel's limbs up, he pulls out the cloth and ties it into a makeshift gag.
Dolg,
Then slides Daniel under the desk and says to him,
Try not to make any noise for the next few minutes, all right?
Dolg, you need what? No.
You need therapy.
No, Dolg. This gentleman was very polite to me, and he was helping me as best he could. You undo that right now.
As you scold him, Dolg stays crouched and he peeks over the desk towards the statue with the rotating eye. Then he looks at you and says,
Ready to browse some books?
No. I'm gonna go to the librarian.
Dolg glances at the eye and, grumbling, tries to grapple you down next to him.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Make a strength or athletics check to break his grip.
It's gonna be a 17.
So Dolg tries to pull you down behind the desk, but you pull out of his grip and move away.
All right, I'm gonna run out of the library.
Okay. Bryce backs off and heads for the front door. As you run, you can see behind you Dolg stand and start to head after you before he notices that you left your scroll on the table. He then turns and begins gathering it up. Are you going to continue at the door?
Yeah, I'm gonna run out the library and find those guards that were out front.
So you burst out of the library's doors, and outside you find one of the two guards still standing at his station.
Hey, dude, so that guy I came in with, the half-orc dude, he just tied up the librarian, and he's stealing my stuff.
The guard laughs at you for a bit, but after noticing your face, he stops and says, Hold on, really?
Yes!
The guard seems kind of suspicious and confused. After a moment, he turns and takes a few steps towards the door, but then turns and looks back at you. Really?
Yeah, that's why I'm out here. Just go inside and you'll see.
The guard squints at you before opening the door and going inside. Are you going to follow him?
Yeah, I'll come with him.
Once inside, the guard scans the room, but he doesn't see anything.
Well, we'll head up to the desk where the librarian was. Daniel was underneath, like tied up underneath.
Bryce pulls the guard up to the desk, where the candle is still burning, but when you look underneath the desk, there's no Daniel to be found.
Ah, that fucker.
The guard looks where you're looking before he says, Okay, look, kid, what's this all about?
He was right here. I mean, shouldn't there be a guy here? Isn't, like, you work this place, isn't there normally?
You're right. There should be someone here, but Daniel thinks he can assign himself breaks whenever he feels like it. Starting layabout.
Well, you're going to find out in like 20 minutes that I was right, and you're going to feel embarrassed.
I'm sure I will. Now, if there isn't actually something going on, I need to get back to my post.
Can I try persuade him that I'm telling the truth?
Oh, of course.
That would be a 19.
The guard looks at your earnest, innocent face, and after a moment of debate with himself says, I guess I can check out the study upstairs. It's not like I have anything else to do around here. He turns and walks through the center of the room to the stairs on the other side. As you walk, you pass by the eye statue.
What's that eye thing?
The guard glances up at it and says, Oh, it's a far-seeing eye. Fairly new security. Lets the wizards in the College of Investigation keep watch on important areas. Don't ask me how it works. I couldn't tell you even if I knew. Once you reach the alcove to the stairway, he begins marching on up. Are you going to follow him or wait at the bottom?
I'm gonna wait downstairs.
So you wait at the bottom of the stairs, listening to the guard's footsteps echo off into the distance. After a few minutes of waiting, you hear a pair of footsteps coming back down the stairs, but no one enters the room.
So I hear footsteps, but I don't see anybody?
No. It sounds like they came down the stairs and stopped at the bottom.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out my hand axe. Not aggressively, just hold it at my side. And I'll be very perceptive. Just gonna be looking around.
How long do you wait?
I'll give him like 5 more minutes, and then I'll head outside.
After only a minute or so, you hear some noises that sound like muffled shouting from far away.
Like from upstairs?
Yes, that's exactly where the sound seems to be coming from.
I'll run upstairs.
So Bryce runs into the alcove leading to the stairs, and as you pass by the threshold, Dolg, who is crouched by the doorway, reaches out to pull you to the side.
I'm gonna attack him because
Okay.
if I'm coming around the corner and somebody just tries to grab me. Oh, that's.
Oh no.
So there's gonna be a 7 to hit.
Okay, so Bryce swings his axe at Dolg in surprise, but thankfully, Dolg is too close to you, and you can't complete the swing before he can catch your arm. He guides you over to the side of the hallway, saying,
What's the matter, boy? It's me.
What's the matter with you? You tying up librarians and...
Well, we have a job to do, and he was going to impede our progress.
What do you mean we have a job to do? You didn't hire me to do a job. You just told me I could find some information out here.
I said I needed your help.
Why are we... What do you mean? We're not doing... Like, you didn't say anything about doing anything illegal or possibly getting arrested. I don't want to get arrested to find this information out.
I assumed you would catch on to the nature of the job once we were here. Men in our line of work need to be vague, otherwise word gets spread around and plans go wrong.
Yeah, but I'm not in... what do you mean, our line of work? I'm not a pirate anymore, dude. I'm walking around...
You were a pirate like 4 weeks ago.
It was like, yeah, no, it was like 2 months ago. And I'd like to, I'd like to tread lightly, okay?
Well, you're not going to find out any information treading lightly. Now, 2 floors up from here could be the answers you're looking for, and I can guarantee you that these wizards wouldn't let you anywhere near them if you'd asked. They hoard secrets like gold. So you want to learn more about this? He says, brandishing the scroll. You're going to have to follow me.
Give me my scroll back.
Dolg gets a few steps up the stairs before he turns to you and says,
Don't be afraid to get your beak wet again, son.
I don't have a beak. I'm not a bird person. This makes no sense. Dolg, you're somebody.
You're somebody, alright.
So we'll leave Bryce at these crossroads for the time being, while we go check in with our half-elf, Freki.
That's me! Freki!
Freki, you came to New Galciodon as a stowaway on a cargo ship carrying pickled fish. You had continued to live by yourself in the Orlunar Desert Marsh for a few years after your friends left you, but one day you experienced a vision so vivid that you felt compelled to act on it. While locked in a trance, the image of a tower came to you, bright, pale, stretching higher than any tree you've ever seen before. At its top was a flame, and as you stared at it, you felt yourself move towards it. Quickly the tower and land beneath you gave way, replaced by the roaring waves of a sea churned by storm. In front of your eyes, the fire grew and became a boat, sails and deck engulfed in flames. In one moment you felt yourself lifted, as if by a pair of hands, up towards the burning deck. But the next moment you felt warm liquid splash across your face, as the hands lifting you went cold, lowering you back to the waves. You fell backwards, dipping below waves, but when your face broke the surface again, the flaming ship was gone, replaced by a burning sun. You rose from the surface of a river to be greeted by an ocean of sand, stretching as far as the eye could see. Pulling forward, you saw a city where this ocean of sand met an ocean of water, and a man standing atop a dune overlooking it. And as you approached the man, his blue robes shining brightly against the golden sands, he turned to face you, and you awoke.
Spoopy.
So, you felt you had to do something about this. And since your friend Mamble had told you about the Towers of Estron where she studied, that seemed to be your only lead to go on. So you hitched and snuck your way into the city, where upon arriving, you had an encounter with an old ogre shaman who's been visiting the city. You followed him back to his lodging in the college, and as of right now, you are asleep in a tree overlooking that same tower. But it isn't the sunlight that rouses you from slumber this morning. It's a smoky, burning sensation on your arm that jolts you awake.
Oh?
And you very quickly realize that your shirt sleeve has caught on fire.
I immediately start just trying to, I wake up and, pat off my arm.
Give me a dex saving throw.
Dex saving throw. Hold with me. Oh, that's good. Little dicey. And that's -1, 11.
You quickly try and smother the flames, but in doing so, you tumble out of the tree. Picking yourself up, you can see that there are a number of candles on holders gently floating next to many of the tree branches.
So there was actually a fire on my arm.
Yes. In front of you is a young man holding a basket of candles. He stares, dumbfounded, at you, before releasing the lit candle in his hand, which floats slowly up into the tree. You recognize him as the young man you met near the harbor yesterday, who mistook you for a beggar. He says, "Are you okay?"
I walk up to him and smack a candle out of his hand.
So you strike his other hand and send unlit candles scattering across the ground. Ow!
Shake my head at him, and then I just walk away.
What was that for? Hey, were you sleeping in that tree?
I'm walking. I'm walking away.
The young man looks around at the candles momentarily before following after you. Hey, you're that lady from yesterday, right? I just realized I handed you my purse on accident, and I don't need the money, but I do actually need that purse.
Keep walking. I'm going to go closer to the tower to see if I can get a better look at the ogre guy that I'm trying to get more information about. I'm trying to find an entrance or something.
You approach the dormitory tower. From where you are, you can see an entrance with 2 guards stationed in front. The young man is still following you, and he calls out, "Look, I don't want to be rude, but that purse is very sentimental to me, and I'd really... Can you even hear me?"
I turn around, and I look him straight in the eye.
Whoa. Okay, He shifts uncomfortably for a moment. Look. He puts out his hand and approaches stiffly. "My name is Cyril. Maybe if you tell me your name, we can get to know each other better, and you can understand why I..."
Can I cast poison spray as my cantrip?
Yes, you can.
Just straight into it.
Yes. So, okay, I don't want to, use it to, get him. Would you say there's, a cloud that pops up? Sort of I could hide myself behind it. Does that make any sense?
You can't really hide behind it, but you can certainly blast him in the face with it.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm just looking him straight in the eye, and I just take my hand up and just blast it with poison spray.
You raise your hand as Cyril is talking and conjure a greenish blast of acrid poison directly in his face.
Great.
Cyril reels backwards and falls, yelling in pain and surprise.
Great, I walk up to him, I kick him in the foot and say, "That's what you get for setting me on fire," and I walk away.
As Cyril is writhing on the ground, you turn to walk away, but one of the 2 guards stationed at the dormitory entrance is headed towards you two.
Shit. I look over at him and I wave at the guard to come. And I just point at the boy getting poison spray going, "Oh no! He needs help!"
Once the guard draws closer, he calls out,
"What's going on here?"
"I think he's been poisoned. I don't know how, but..."
He gets closer and says,
"Yeah, I just saw you spray him in the face."
I don't think that's what happened. I really don't think that's what happened. He definitely just collapsed when he walked through a random cloud of poison that was in his way that he did not see. And I tried to stop him. I put my hand up, but he didn't listen, so...
"Ma'am, I must ask you to come with me for a moment."
I just say shit. And then I run away.
"Okay, do you know where?"
I'm gonna go through the garden.
Before the guard can get near enough to grab her, Freaky darts off the pathway and dives into the bushes of the nearby garden, leaving the guard to deal with the crumpled Cyril.
I take off full sprint. Full tilt.
So you want to find a way up the tower.
I think I want to run a little bit around it, just get out of sight of the guards, and then climb up it.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
Gonna be all snaky. You know what they call me, Sneaky the Freaky. That would be a solid, hold up, stealth. Oh, yeah, that's a 9.
Alright, so Freaky is leaping through the foliage and over the trimmed bushes of the garden while scanning the tower above her, looking for a way to climb it from the outside. Unfortunately, you don't see any obvious way to start your climb from where you are. And as soon as you're finally out of sight of the first 2 guards, you round the corner to see 2 other guardsmen stationed at the other entrance. They turn and notice you, but before either of them can speak, they both turn and look into the tower before stepping out of the way. Soon after, a large group comes filing out of the dormitory tower. At the front is a fairly tall, well-dressed desert orc. His skin is an orangish brown, and he wears a blue set of robes and a golden headpiece. Directly behind him are 2 women, both in blue and gold. One is another desert orc, the other is little folk, likely a gnome. They are followed by a group of several old orcs in green robes, and one very large ogre, the very same ogre, named Durzog, that you followed here last night.
Great. They're gigantic fucking people. So I'm gonna try and hide behind one of them from sight from the guard if I can.
Okay, so just to clarify, so you want to sort of slip in between them? Or
I want to try to get in the back of the line and just use their gigantic bodies as just cover.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Yes. Got it. Get it. Oh no. That's gonna be a 5, David. A 5.
So as this group makes its way towards the heart of the festival, Freaky tries to casually slip in line behind them. Though you only make it a few feet before Durzog and the orcs closest to the end of this procession turn and look at you, puzzled.
I just stare blankly at him.
One of the orcs turns towards Durzog and says,
What does she want?
What was that black stuff coming out of you? The black smoky stuff.
Not to interrupt you, but it was green, actually.
Oh, it was green.
It was green.
What was that green stuff coming out of you?
Durzog looks at you, Freaky, and you can tell that he knows what you mean, but he just shakes his head and turns away.
And then I call after him one more time. There's a great darkness coming to I'm trying to be all dramatic and I can't think of any words to say anything. There's a darkness coming shortly. And then I walk away.
Durzog doesn't respond, but one of the orcs next to him turns to Durzog and says,
Is she talking about nighttime?
I keep walking away. So they're going off into the festival?
Yes, the head orc and the 2 women head north towards the central tower, while the other orcs and the ogre just sort of scatter off into the crowd. Do you want to follow them, or...?
No, I'm gonna break off for a little bit and just let them be since he won't answer my question. So I'm gonna go back into town and look for some food.
Okay.
I'm looking for the best trash can in any alleyway, near a bakery or something, someplace that they would be throwing out. Not so much spoiled food, but just extra.
Alright, so Freaky begins wandering the festival to sniff out some food, which leads her to an area closer towards the center circle. As you pass by one stall, a family is unloading some large melon-like fruit from a cart when the cart begins to shake and rock back and forth, knocking the man on the cart to his back and nearly running over one of the children. The creature hitched to the front of the cart, a large, horse-like llama creature, has begun to rear and buck wildly, trying to pull itself from the post it's tied to.
Can I look around and see what might have startled the llama thing? Llama bang bang?
Yes, make a perception check.
Perception? That's gonna be 22.
You notice there is an Astronian guardsman backing away from the animal, and the animal seems to be focusing on trying to get away from him.
So is it like, I don't know, like is the guard malicious towards the animal, or?
He looks as confused as everyone else there.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna saunter my way up to the llama, and I just stare at it until it makes eye contact with me. That's it.
The creature knows you're there, but you can't really make it make eye contact with you, as it's too focused on the man, and it's continuing to jerk the cart around behind it.
Well, why don't I use my good old handy dandy, how do you say in English, speak with animals, do that good old spell.
Muttering some druidic incantations, you weave a spell betwixt your fingers and release it. Instantly, you feel a greater empathetic link to all the animals around you.
I'm gonna go up to the llama, and I say, yo bitch, what's up?
Is that what you want to say to it?
Yes, I do. Exactly say that word for word.
Okay.
Murder the llama right now.
No.
As the animal rears, it looks towards you, and as it whinnies and grunts, you hear a voice in your head cry,
Help! Bad man!
Bad? The one in front of you? Is it that guy? The one with the little shiny metal on him?
The animal is still agitated and shaking its head, trying to take its bridle off. You hear it say,
Yes!
What did he do to you?
All it says is,
Very bad. Most bad.
Just in general, or are you just being judgmental?
and by now the bridle is chafing its hide from all the struggling it's doing.
Okay, then I'll step in front of the llama and the dude that I'm assuming is what's causing this.
Okay, could you make me a handle animals check?
That's gonna be 15 plus 6. Holy shit. Yeah, she good.
So Freaky tries to calm the animal using herself as a barrier between the creature and the guard. This works to an extent. It stops thrashing about, and the family is able to approach the animal and begin unhitching it from the cart, though it continues to stare around Freaky at the guard. Said guard looks at you, Freaky, and says,
I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything.
I cross my arms and just look at him.
Look, I didn't even go near it. It just started going mad.
I am going to...
would you like to roll for insight?
No, I'm just gonna charm person.
Okay. So you bring your hands together again, and muttering a different set of incantations, weave a spell betwixt your fingers. The guard looks at you, looks down at your hands, and then back up at you, and he's about to ask what you're doing, but before he can finish his thought, you release the spell on him, watching as his eyes glaze over momentarily before he shakes his head.
Great. And then I look at him and I ask him, what are you doing with this animal? Why are you messing with my friend, sir?
He looks at the animal again, who is staring back at him, and he shrugs. He says, hey, I don't know, maybe I did get too close to him and the poor guy's just stressed out with all the people around. I don't know. He then looks back at you with a plain, simple smile on his face.
Then I tell him to go take a walk and then nod my head at the llama and then I walk away.
He shrugs again and tells you, alrighty, see you around, and then wanders off into the crowd. You nod to the animal, who's being pet by its owners, and seeing as things have calmed down, you continue searching for food. Finally, you find a promising vendor selling something called caravan pies. There's a large waste crate brimming with garbage next to it.
Great, I go immediately to the trash can next to it. I am buying shit.
As you begin rummaging through the garbage,
I am dumpster diving.
the owner of the stand notices you and leans out of the stall, saying, I have some much fresher stuff up here, darling.
Did I find anything in the dumpster?
You find lots of scraps of food, but nothing too untouched.
Perfect. I package up all those scraps that I can find and then I just put some in my mouth. I look at her square in the eye and walk away.
The owner and the rest of the line waiting for the vendor all watch you go before they turn back to their business. The owner hands a pie to her next customer right as the bells in the central tower start chiming in 11 o'clock. As they do, she says to the customer, "Well, Peronius, looks like you should be getting back." The customer, an old man, smiles back at her and says, "Thank you, my dear. Indeed I should." Now, while Freaky enjoys her well-earned snack, we'll cross over to the southwestern side of the college. Up in the Administrator's Tower, in the College of Elicitation, we find you, Ku.
Coo!
Here I am.
This is me.
I am Ku.
There's nowhere in the world I'd rather be.
God damn it. How many musical instruments do you have with you right now?
A lot. I'm at my recording desk. I got all my instruments over here.
Nice. Oh my god.
Okay, it's morning, and you are lying in your bed when you hear a knock on your door.
Yes, father, is that you?
God.
Hearing you awake, Lono Kanaloa, your father, and 3 servants enter the room. Immediately they go to work opening your drapes and pulling off your covers and placing your shoes at the side of your bed.
Am I naked? Did I ask first? I mean, like, I'm wearing drawers, right?
Would Ku wear drawers or would he sleep in the nude? This is a question for you.
Well, first of all, do I emanate heat?
Yes, but not enough to usually set things on fire, and your bed sheets have been made to be slightly flame retardant as well.
Oh, but my bed's warm, though.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I wear drawers, fine. I have a cloth. There's a cloth down
boxers or briefs? Oh, just a cloth?
I don't know what the boxers they have in this kind of time. I don't know. It's like diaper-like, right? Kind of diaper-like?
Yes.
It's diaper-like so that they don't get to see anyway.
While you're being waited on, Lono approaches you and says,
"Good morning, my son. How was your evening last night?"
Oh, yes, father, I had a wonderful night. It was rather boring, I must say. A lot of sitting around. The usual, father.
Lono nods his head.
"Well, you slept in late for someone who had a boring night."
You what?
Lono nods his head and says,
"I sent the servants to fetch you half an hour ago, but they told me that you had told them not to enter your room without verbal consent. So I came to make sure that we leave on time."
What are we leaving for, father?
Lono looks at you.
Ku, do you remember what day it is?
Tuesday.
Are you the Mad Hatter? What is happening?
I'm trying to be so casual.
Today is the beginning of the Festival of Innovation, and we are to make our appearance at the opening ceremony.
Oh, yes, of course. We must make his appearance every year, father. Father, is there any chance that we can go as citizens and not as things to look at and touch?
Am I right? Is that why we're going? Because people want to, look at us and shit? I made a total assumption. Am I wrong, David?
No, you're exactly right. The servants finish tidying the room and proceed to take your drawers.
Off from my ass?
Yes.
So I'm calling HR. This is fucked up. They can't do this to me.
Who hired these guys?
Who hired these people?
They give you a new one and they tie it on for you.
Oh, what?
Doesn't matter. But okay.
There was no consent in this.
Yeah.
They've done this for you since you were a baby.
That's more fucked up.
That's worse.
Did they wipe his ass too? What is happening?
Did they literally do everything for me?
They try to be exactly where you need them for whatever you may need.
So they do everything for me.
At this moment, they are lifting your arms up to put your undershirt on when Lono tells them to stop.
Ku, where did you get that bruise?
He says, and he points to a large spot on the right side of your rib cage.
Did something happen last night that gave me that?
You got in a bar fight with an ogre who hit you with his club.
Okay.
That will do it.
That'll do it. You get hit with an ogre. This? Oh. Father, it's nothing. It's nothing, Father. Nothing. It's just...
Lono says,
That is not nothing.
And he turns to one of the servants and says,
Felix, fetch me the salve in the blue bottle from my study, please.
and the servant turns and leaves the room.
Father, it was just one of the town bike messengers knocked me down. That's all that happened. It happened
A what messenger?
Are there things that sort of are bike-like?
There are just messengers, like guys who run and deliver letters.
Okay, well, a messenger was sprinting because he had a really important message, and he pushed me down, and I hit my rib on the curb pretty hard.
Do you know who he was? Who he worked for?
No, he sped off into the night. It's the crime in this town, Father. It drives me crazy.
Well, what did he look like?
Oh! What's the most generic race in this town?
Oh, definitely human.
Yeah, he was a human.
Human?
He was a human. Caucasian, brown eyes, brown hair, about 5'10" to 6'1".
The most cis white man.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, he also had like a head wrap, so I'm just kind of guessing, really.
Well, that's at least something. Agar,
He says to one of the two remaining servants.
please send this message out to Headmaster Midland. Tell him someone has assaulted my son last night, and to be on the lookout for careless messengers wearing head wraps.
Okay. Well, you don't have to punish him. It was a simple mistake, is what it was. When I said crime, I was talking about my crime of being in his way, is the thing. Does that make sense, Father?
Oh, cool. If someone is as careless as to knock over an elite of the college and not even bother to help them up, that person should not be allowed to remain unpunished.
I'm gonna get some stranger executed for this shit.
Yeah, you are. You sentenced someone to die just now.
As the last servant is finishing putting on your robes, Lono comes closer to you and says,
Ku,
Yes, Father.
I know you're getting fed up with this routine.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you don't exactly care for the festival.
No, I don't.
But you are an inspiration to many in this city, whether you will that or no. So the minimum I ask of you is that you attend the opening ceremony with me. We will greet our people, and once the opening talks have concluded, you are free to do whatever you'd like for the rest of the week. I know Headmaster Giraud would be most pleased to have you there.
David, do I talk to the headmaster a lot? Or like he's like...
Yes, he's the headmaster your father works for.
I've met him a million billion times.
White hair, beard, kind of crabby.
So he's a crab apple. Oh, but is he crabby towards me or just everyone?
Well, varying degrees, but usually pretty crabby.
Is he a crab?
Is he a crab? When you say crabby, does he...
He is crabby in mood, not in appearance.
Oh, that's less interesting.
I don't know, in this weird topsy-turvy magic town, anything's possible. People can be crabs, shit. Okay, okay, Father, I guess so, but I'm not talking to anybody besides Headmaster Krabby.
Lono says,
Very good. Well, you're all dressed. Let's head off.
and with Lono leading the way, you start to file out of your room.
Servants.
The last servant left stops and turns to you.
I remembered I forgot my lucky wristband in my room, and I need to get it.
I can fetch that for you, Master.
I will get it. Why don't you just tell my father that's what I am doing?
Very well, Master Ku. And the servant turns and walks down the stairs.
Okay, lovely. Goodbye. Alright, is the hallway vacant?
It seems to be, yes.
Sprinting to my room! Is my room vacant?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do a somersault and land right where my outfit is with my mask and my maul. Where the hell is that, by the way? Is that like a really cool secret?
Your mask and outfit are hidden in your closet, but the maul is mounted downstairs in the den.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, I'm gonna grab my outfit and I'm gonna stuff it into a bag that I'm just gonna have, on me.
So Ku stuffs his outfit and mask into a medium-sized satchel. It's snug, but it seems to fit.
Oh, okay, who's in the hallway? Is it vacant?
Yes.
Sprinting down to the common room, or whatever room would be that other room. First of all, am I passing by my father or any servants?
No.
sprinting to the den. And is the mall where it's supposed to be?
It is not mounted on the wall where it should be.
Where the fuck? What?
Haven't you lived in this house your whole life?
What? Did I do something weird with it last night?
Can you make me an insight check?
You got it, bucko. Hold on, let me get my character sheet up. And my insight doesn't matter. Okay. 17.
Oh.
You remember that the mall, as well as you, are considered prizes of the college.
Oh, they took the mall to the thing.
Yeah. So, do you want to head down to the ground floor?
Okay,
Oh. You're fucked.
I'm just gonna have to get my mall should something hit the fan. Like shit.
So Ku heads down to the ground floor. When he reaches it, he sees Lono carrying the volcanic mall and the 5 servants gathered in the entryway. Upon seeing you, Lono perks up and says,
Well, I guess he's finally ready to go. Come along, Ku.
and he takes your arm and leads you outside. Once you are outside and approaching the main throng of people, Lono says to you,
Now, you can have your run of the festival for the next few hours, but I expect to see you at the Central Tower at 11. All right?
11 o'clock Central Tower.
Very good. Agar, Omer, Felix, will you please accompany Ku as he enjoys the festival?
And the 3 servants he named bow to Lono as he turns and heads off with the other 2 servants and the mall.
Thank you, Father.
I gotta get that mall, I say out loud.
Right in front of your father.
But, yeah. They didn't, that was under my breath.
The servants are standing at attention, waiting for you.
Hello.
Hello, Master Ku.
Oh, they're so kind.
You guys are really nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Master Ku.
Okay. Well, I'll get them all. Let's walk around a little bit. Let's go to where it's not, let's go to where it's the hottest. Let's follow the crowds. They seem to know what they're doing. I want to take a look at the crime situation while I'm out here, give a little peek.
Very well. You head deep into the throngs of people milling about between stalls. You don't need to worry as much about it, though, as your servants form a kind of barrier around you to part the way through. As you pass by a particular stall, you hear a voice cry out,
Good morning to you, Master Kanaloa.
You there!
and you turn and see a middle-aged man behind one of the stall counters beckoning you towards him. As you come nearer, he exclaims,
It is quite an honor to meet you, sir. I've heard tell in the countryside of your beauty and power.
Well, the beauty you can solve for yourself, buddy, because you're looking right at me. And the power, I imagine you have heard some stories.
I assure you they pale in comparison to the real-life experience.
I'm flattered. Really, very truly.
The man says,
Would you perhaps be interested in sampling some of my wares?
You mean try some, samples?
Oh, of course. Anyone you'd like.
and he gestures to a collection in front of him of various bottles and vials.
Can I go to the desk? What kind of bottles you got? What are they looking like? What do we got?
Laid out in front of you are racks of vials in different sizes, mostly divided into 4 sections. On your left is a reddish-pink liquid marked as a potion of healing. Next to it is a glowing greenish-yellow liquid marked potion of night vision. Next to that, a silvery white liquid marked potion of assistance.
Oh.
And finally, on the end, is a light gold quivering liquid marked potion of peeling.
Potion of peeling.
It's for your face. It's when you have dry skin.
Oh.
Which one would you like to sample?
Yeah, what's the peeling one?
Ah, yes, I must admit I made this one on accident. One of my patches of healing potion was compromised, but what resulted was this. It seems to cause auditory hallucinations when drunk. Very, very curious stuff indeed.
Interesting. Well, how much does this potion retail for, good patron, sir?
Oh, for you, only 20 gold a bottle.
I see. Well, for you, my good man, I will give you 25 for that potion.
Oh, well, thank you ever so much.
You're most welcome.
And he quickly places a small bottle of the potion in front of you, alongside a very small thimbleful of the same liquid.
In case you'd like to sample the effects.
Absolutely! I'm gonna knock it back.
You swallow the gold liquid, which vibrates as it slides down your throat.
Like seltzer.
Kind of, but more with a kind of bass rumble, like an auditory vibration.
Oh. Kind of uncomfortable.
Nothing happens at first, but after a few seconds, you begin to hear bells chiming.
Ooh.
You're fine at first, but after a minute or so, you're pretty much done with the whole experience. If you can imagine several town criers clanging their bells around you at different distances and intervals, one of your servants notices that you haven't said anything in a while and asks if you're okay.
What does he look like? Does he look all weird, like a giant ant or something?
No, he looks normal, but it's very hard to hear him.
Because of the clanging. I'm gonna say, what? Oh, okay.
There is no need to shout, Master Ku.
Okay, I'm gonna get a couple healing potions while I'm here.
The stallkeep winces at your shouting, but it says, "Very good. They are 2 gold per dose."
Okay, well, can I take, 10?
Of course, he says, shielding his ears. That will be 20 gold.
Alright, there you go.
So you hand him the gold, and he hands you a small wooden case which has nestled inside it 10 vials of that reddish-pink liquid.
Can you bag that up for me? Yeah, thanks.
The stallkeep stares at you in confusion for a moment before he says, "Oh, you mean, could I wrap it up for you? Of course."
You know what? I don't know what I was talking about. I'm just gonna take it in the thing.
Thank you, Master Kanaloa. Please, enjoy the festival.
Thank you, and, God bless.
He calls out as you walk away. May the gods shine on you as well, my friend. By the time you've left the stall behind, the ringing in your ears finally has subsided.
Oh my god, wow, it just made my ears ring so much, you guys.
Are you alright, Master Ku?
Yeah, I feel it's fine. It's fine now, but, it was getting pretty annoying.
Now that your ears are clear, you're much more aware of all the little noises that you are missing out on. But you continue on exploring the festival. After a few more minutes of wandering, you are passing by an alley between 2 of the stalls when your ears pick up an odd whimpering noise nearby.
And I look in that direction.
I look in the opposite direction.
By the side of a stall, between a barrel and the wall, is a small gray creature cowering in fear.
Oh no! What does it look like?
It's a small Fuihund, a sort of dog-ferret hybrid.
Ooh, very sleek.
This kind is an ornamental breed, so it has a very short pink snout and kind of curly gray hair.
A Fuihund.
It's the cutest thing I ever heard. I'm gonna tell my servants, alright, you wankers, you wait right over here. I gotta check out this little creature. And I'm gonna saunter... What?
Oh, nothing, sir. Please, carry
Sorry
on.
if I was rude. I'm in a good mood today.
Very good.
Alright, and I'm gonna turn to the little creature and I'm gonna, start crouching and be like, Hey, little guy.
Okay, Tom, make me an animal handling check.
Alright,
Your favorite.
I love animal handling, and... Ooh, this isn't gonna be good. Alright, 16!
Oh, you broke the curse.
The Fuihund hunkers down when you approach, but after a little bit of coaxing, it slowly comes towards you.
I'm gonna put my hand out very gingerly.
It makes its way up to your hand, sniffs it over, and then begins nibbling on your fingers.
Nibbles on it? Is he consuming me?
No, he's just exploring. It's a play bite.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna very tenderly say, Where did you come from, little guy? Does it have a tag or anything or some shit?
It's wearing a fairly expensive collar.
Is it my ferret dog?
Oh shit! I didn't realize.
Embroidered in gold on the collar is the name Fluffs.
Fluffs!
Fluffs.
Alright, Fluffs. I'm gonna take you to your owner, and I'm gonna stop the first person I see and say, Is this your dog thing? Named Fluffs?
After trying several people, one passerby tells you that he doesn't know the dog, but that there is a lost and found closer towards the central tower that you should try.
I think that's a really good idea. Servants, let's take this dog thing over to the lost and found.
The lost and found.
I'm gonna carry it though, because it's really cute. I'm gonna say
It's like right underneath your arm.
right in
It's like a little,
right in its face. So cute. I want to keep it. I don't want to give it back to the person anymore. But I'm taking it to the Lost and Found.
After working your way across the festival, clutching this squirmy ferret dog, you eventually find a small tent up at one of the busiest intersections. You can see a sign posted that reads, Lost Goods and Possessions, and behind it is a man talking to folks and handing out things from a large pile.
I'm gonna go to whoever seems to be in charge. Hello?
The man puts down a chest he's holding, turns to you and says,
Yeah, you lose something?
No, I found something. It's this dog thing. Its name is Fluffy, and I'm
Fluffs.
trying to find Fluffs.
As you're explaining the situation, from behind you, you hear a woman cry out, Fluffs! And Fluffs perks up in your arms. Seconds later, a woman comes running up to you. Oh, you found my little dear. Oh, thank you. I was ever so worried.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Is she attractive?
She's probably in her 40s, fairly wealthy.
You know, I'm also rich.
Her eyes widen suddenly. Oh, you're Kukanaloa. Charles, she says, calling over her shoulder.
That's right, I am. And you're most welcome, Miss.
From behind her approaches a rather thin man with a very dour face. She excitedly pulls him forwards. Charles, look who found Fluffs. It's the elemental boy from the college.
Oh.
What a cock block.
Yeah. Hello.
Charles stares back at you for a moment before muttering, Thanks.
Uh...
The woman takes Fluffs from you and begins petting it. She says, Well, I simply must reward you somehow.
Oh, no, that's totally okay.
I insist, please.
No, it was my pleasure.
And she reaches up and plucks a brooch off of her dress and hands it to you.
Thank you very much, and, thank you. I'm gonna turn to the guy and be like, hey, you feeling okay?
The man, Charles, just narrows his eyebrows a bit before raising them.
Nothing, I don't know. I'm just reading people. Okay, well, thank you very much, and, I appreciate it, and, I'm gonna have a look at this brooch. What is it looking like?
How expensive?
How expensive?
Well, the brooch is mainly of an intricate silver design with a green gem set in its middle. You aren't exactly sure how much it's worth, but it looks very expensive.
Well, thank you. I will cherish this for a long time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, she says.
And have a good day with your dog.
And she takes her husband's hand, and the two of them walk off with Fluffs.
I don't know, something's up with that guy. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my servants and say, look, fellas, a brooch! Should I give it to some charity that needs it? Because I'm already Mr. fucking rich.
The three servants look at one another for a moment before one of them says, Whatever you think is wisest, Master Ku.
Okay, I'm gonna sniff it. What does it smell like?
It smells like richer, older lady.
Oh, like mothballs and...
Yeah?
I guess I'll pocket it for now. And when I find the right, whatever, charity to give it to.
At this point, one of the servants pipes up and says, Master Ku, it is nearing 11. We should begin moving to meet with your father.
Oh, all right there. What's your name?
Omer. O-M-E-R.
Oh, Omer. That's all I want. I just want to know his name.
Okay. Well, you start making your way over towards the central tower, taking in the sights. But when you draw closer, something catches your eye off to the side. A group of guards are clustered in a tight group around the entrance to a stall. As you approach, you can hear shouting in Orcish, followed by a loud crash.
Do I understand Orcish?
You don't, but it sounded distressed to you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go over to some of those guards, and I'm just gonna casually say, what's all this?
When you speak to them, one of the guards turns around, seemingly to run you off, but as soon as he sees it's you, he snaps to attention and stammers out,
Master Kanaloa.
That's right.
He then gets the other guards' attention, who all shape up as soon as they see you.
At ease, gentlemen.
Now that they have broken their formation, you can see inside the stall. On the floor is a mess of copper and silver pieces from a spilled coffer that an orc man and an orc woman are quickly scraping up. There's one additional guard you did not see before standing over them who has just now noticed you.
Weird. Yeah, what are you doing?
The guard inside the stall looks at you and says,
Nothing important, Master Canaloa. We were just here to collect the festival tax.
A festival tax?
He meant the festival fee. This man hasn't paid his fee yet, and so we were just here to collect.
Oh, and he didn't pay the tax, and then you wouldn't let him do the thing, and now he's mad?
Would you like to roll an insight for me?
Sure, let's do that.
Yeah.
18.
Damn.
You know that there's a fee to set up a stall at the festival, but they usually collect before the festival even opens to the public. You also notice that neither of the orcs will look at either you or the guards, and that the male orc has a black eye.
Does he look familiar from the beating I gave him last night?
He doesn't look familiar.
Oh, okay.
Or even like much of a fighter. He's short for an orc, and he has the build of a worker or farmer.
Hey, let me ask you something, fellas. You see that orc over there? What's with the black eye?
The guards shift for a moment before one of them says,
Oh, that's just an accident. He was getting his coffers out and fell against the counter.
Do I believe it? Can I roll to believe it and not believe that?
roll me another insight.
Oh, 10.
It's not too bad.
You can't tell whether he's lying or telling the truth.
Are you lying? Boys? You boys lying to me?
The guards stand a little straighter, and the first guard says to you,
No, sir. We would never try to deceive the treasured member of our house, sir.
That's so.
Sir, it is nearing 11 and we must continue our rounds, if you'd please excuse us.
The guard then exits the stall and begins leading his men down the fairway.
Alright, I'm gonna walk in.
When you enter the stall, the orcs are still gathering the money on the floor. The orc woman looks up at you. Her face is stained with tears. The male orc has still not acknowledged you.
I'm gonna approach the woman and I'm gonna say, hello. I see... How are you?
The orc woman stands up and says, "Help?"
Help you what?
Before you finish your thought, the male orc stands up with the now refilled coffer and storms to the back of the stall where he violently deposits it behind some crates.
Alright, I'm just gonna say it. You all seem kind of just perturbed. What's going on?
The orc grumbles in Orcish and bangs his fist on the crate. The woman turns and speaks to him, and the two seem to argue in Orcish for a moment over the male orc's shoulder. Ruguk, a vilen hjälp.
Jag vill hjälp jag.
Jag älsk. Du kan vigert utvod. Finally, he turns towards you and he says,
Those were your men?
Well, I'm...
The two orcs exchange words with one another. Han gjør din stjørner dem askad vis.
Du vet det.
Han kjører dem bort. Han kan hjelp. Before he walks towards you and says,
You must tell them never to come near me or my wife ever again.
I see. I'll have a word talk with them.
He says,
You will.
And he storms out of the stall. His wife faces you again and with a slight nod says, Ja tak. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So welcome.
When men come, they say we not pay. Biz snackers, yeah, we have. And they hurt my ruguk.
That's terrible. I am so sorry. So you did not just give away all your money to those pigs, did you?
No. Mie. Most. We would like for you to tell someone of this.
I will. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to leave the stall and I'm going to look in the direction of those people.
Those guards aren't anywhere in sight, but you do know that their commander would be stationed near the central tower by now.
Well, fellas, I think we are going to just go to the central tower. It's the only logical decision.
It's the only one.
The only decision. Alright, let's go there.
As you wish, Master Ku. and they begin clearing the way for you towards the central tower.
Well, friends, we must leave our story there for now. Will Bryce follow Dolg to the answers he seeks? Will Frankie figure out how her vision relates to this strange urban environment? Can Kanaloa push past his privileged ennui to actually help someone in need? Find out next time when we return to another tale. Thank you to Caleb Lacey, Thomas Campbell, and Sarah Kennedy for joining me today. And lastly, thank you for listening to this episode of another tale of guilt and desertion. Now, go out and enjoy your own adventure.